college esports means a ton to me. It's my outlet at the university that allows me to kind of bleed red. Uh, I've never been to a UH football game. I've never been to a UH sports event in general, to be honest. But I'm able to support UH from a competitive side on our esports team. And being a leader is really exciting because I'm able to make a difference and step up when others can't or won't. So my name is Alex Niall. I'm a grad student at the University of Houston, studying marketing with a focus on digital marketing, and I am technically the marketing and social media manager for Coog Esports. Although I have a ton of different roles, I'm the video editor. I'm just recently got in charge of partnerships and sponsorships. I'm the Rocket League coordinator. I used to be the Valorant statistician, so we had at one point the largest Valorant database of matches. I'm the liaison between us and our potentially, hopefully, future esports arena with our satellite campus. And then I'm also on the NECC advisory committee. So I was the only student there. We just recently got a new one, but I'm excited to kind of shape the future of NECC. Yeah, so my day-to-day is pretty crazy. I didn't mention in there that I actually work a full 9 to 5 as well. So I work 9 to 5 in banking with one of our University of Houston big sponsors, TDCU. So I do digital marketing during the day, and then I go to classes from 6 to 9 p.m. And then any time after that is devoted to esports until I crash at night. So a lot of it is kind of planning out how we can better ourselves from I guess like a member development perspective. So how can we get our players in a situation where they feel happy competing and feel happy representing the university? So that's a lot of my role there, kind of giving them publicity, bringing eyes to them, bringing eyes to the organization, and kind of supporting them in any way possible. It's really difficult to balance it all. I I like to think that I'm doing an okay job, but I mean, I go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, just kind of doing whatever I can in the waking hours that I have. In the end of the day, it's the hand I've been dealt, and nobody else was willing to do it, so I had to step up and do it. We've got basically like 3 active officers for 150 competitors and 2,500, I guess, casual players. So it felt unfair for me to leave the other 2 officers kind of stranded on their own. So I've just been doing what I can when I can to help support them. Yeah, so I started collegiate esports back in 2018 when I was at Baylor University. Didn't stay there long, but I got my start playing on their Rocket League team. So we had a close run to making CRL that season. Have never come close to qualifying again, but we had some technical troubles there. And then once I transferred to UH, I didn't really have a ton of other interest. And since we're a commuter school, it's really tough to get involved on campus. I live an hour away from school. So I figured I'd do something that was online primarily. And so I was a Rocket League player at the time, so I figured might as well join the Rocket League team and try to make something cool out of it. So the Rocket League coordinator at the time was not interested in keeping the program running. So I took that over from him my first year of joining UH, and then became marketing coordinator because we didn't have a marketing coordinator. And so it's basically just like acquiring roles by stuff of nobody else wanting to fill them, and here I am now wearing way too many hats. Yeah, so we're the largest. The esports club at Houston is the largest across gaming and esports, the largest club on campus. We have 2,500 members on the more casual side. And then we have 150 competitors. We compete in about 20 titles. We have a bunch of teams now. Honestly, it's too many to handle. I mean, back we used to track every single match and put win losses on Twitter. We play over 50 matches a week, so that's just impossible now. But it's just kind of, we're a place that people who aren't kind of in the more traditional sports, a place for where they can interact. So like we've got a bunch of exciting things going around with the League Worlds going on because I mean, people are excited about that, right? And kind of a way for alternate culture, I guess, to to find a community in, I don't know, anime, whatever, card games. We have pretty much everything that's going on. We even have chess people playing now online. It's just kind of whatever you want to be in, we'll support you. And so we've got a big community of, I guess, non-traditional athletic supporters. Sure. So yeah, I was the sole student representative for the advisory council, which is the top council. Thankfully, I have some help now with a student from, I believe, Arizona State, since my term ends in May. But basically, I was pretty active in critiquing, I guess, a lot of leagues. NECC was one of them, but I mean, I critiqued NACE, I critiqued Esports U. Pretty much every league I would go in there and give them probably unwarranted feedback about, I guess, how to run their events from basically just from a tournament bracket theory kind of perspective. So I kind of got a name for myself of being like that guy that cares way too much about seeding and brackets. So I got known by Caleb, I don't know what his official title is. I think COO of NECC. And so when I guess the forms to register to be on a potential committee, I jumped at the chance to try to give the perspective of a club for NECC, because what I've noticed with a bunch of other leagues is that they're very varsity focused, right? Which is great, but University of Houston is not a varsity program, and unfortunately, I think it'll be a couple years at least before we become one. So it's important to have an environment where clubs can participate equally to varsity programs. And I noticed that a lot of leagues were getting the perspective of full-time directors, but not a ton of student representatives that were representing clubs. So I figured this was my chance to kind of shape the future of the NECC from a club perspective and making it attainable for clubs to participate in. And I feel like we're doing a good job. At least I hope to think that. Yeah, I was excited. Not gonna lie, I did mention it to our advisor, and I was like, "Hey, this should be really cool if I got nominated for it. At least somebody from UH got nominated for, right?" So I think we nominated a couple people, and I guess I was the one who got chosen. So I'm super excited about that. It is kind of my last hurrah for esports. I do graduate in May, and I'll be taking a year off at least before I go back for my MBA. So who knows what the esports landscape will be at that point. Hopefully, it'll be progress quite a bit more. So it would be a nice kind of bow to tie up my, shoot, it's been what, 6 years of esports career now. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not too phased. I'm excited that I'm already nominated. I'll be at the awards ceremony. If I win, it would be nice. I know there's a bunch of really strong candidates for this award. I'm just excited that UH was able to be nominated twice here and Club of the Year, to kind of show our administration like, hey, we're being recognized for doing really cool things. It would be nice if you took us seriously. So I'm just excited overall. Yeah, so UH being nominated for Club of the Year is really exciting. We have a really large community, and I know, at least from a Texas perspective, we were leading the way in kind of what esports can be on campus. I know there's a whole bunch of really good schools now in Texas that are maybe taking the lead now that they have support, like UTD, UT Austin. There's a bunch of really cool schools now. But I think it's nice to be able to still be recognized as a strong club, even without the support. And I mean, we put on an event this year with 1,400 students attending. So I feel like it's one of the biggest collegiate events of the year, hopefully. So just kind of proving that, like, hey, we're able to do really cool stuff, even though we don't get a dime from the university, we don't get any support. We're able to sometimes book rooms, but that's about it. Just kind of proving that, like, hey, we're able to do it, overcome all the obstacles, and I think the students are happy with where we're at right now. Just kind of proving to them, like, hey, we're kind of cool, right? We put on cool events. We're doing what I wanted the club to do when I was a student, right? Why should people vote for me? That's a good question. I mean, in reality, there's a ton of very good candidates, right? And I work primarily behind the scenes, so unless you've seen me complaining in a Discord server, you probably don't know who I am. In reality, I mean, I'm just trying to do my best for the esports community at UH and the competitive scene in general. If you believe that deserves a vote, I would love your vote. If you don't, there's a bunch of really strong candidates out there. So I'm here because I want to make a difference in esports, and if that gets a vote, that gets a vote. If that doesn't, I'm not too worried about it. So for future student leaders, I would recommend getting involved when you can with what you can. I know a lot of people are intimidated with, like, I was very intimidated by the previous president. He had this huge track record of a whole bunch of success, and like, there's no way I could do what he was doing, which is true, but I don't have to do what he's doing. I have to do what I'm good at and what I can do, right? So, I mean, I'm not able to serve as a top 3 officer as a legally because we bank with who I work for. But, I'm doing what I can do and what I'm good at. So I'd recommend finding something that you're passionate about and what you want to work on. You don't have to be the top dog. We need managers. We need coordinators. We need people who are graphic designers. We don't need 20 presidents. We need 1. So find your spot that you're good at and find people that you want to work with and that can help you and be an asset to the organization. So one thing that I would love to teach previous me about my collegiate esports experience is that it'll open a whole bunch of doors. I don't work in esports now. I probably won't ever work in esports like as an actual career, but it got me to where I am now. So back in, I think it was junior year, I got a chance to work with the Houston Outlaws doing social media strategy for them. That was back when they were kind of unknown. So a lot of I like to think that I influenced their YouTube strategy and their social media strategy. I don't know how true that is, but that gave me the experience in social media and digital marketing that landed me my current job now. I did basically what I did with the Outlaws, I did for my current job, and now I've progressed out of that. So I would teach myself that, like, sure, you're planning on going into esports, but if that doesn't end up materializing because the industry's not in that spot where it's a good receptive position for you, you can still use those skills that you used in your future careers. I know we have a graphic designer who taught himself everything he could about graphic design as a Coog Esports member, right? And now he's working full-time as a graphic designer doing really good graphic work when he knew nothing going into Coog Esports. And we had somebody work with him, sit down with him and teach him everything he knew. And now Bali, our great graphic designer, he's doing really good things inside of esports and outside of esports. So just do whatever you can to learn esports related. Esports doesn't have to be the end all be all, but you'll learn a whole bunch of skills that'll set you up for the future. Yeah, so the final thing I'd say is don't compare yourself to other people. I know I've seen a lot of people say, like, oh, I'm a good person, I'm a good president, but I'm not as good as this person or this person, and we don't have the funding like this person, and we don't have a facility like this team. And sure, I mean, I would love to have a facility like UT Austin's having, and I would love to have resources that Northwood has, and I would love to work with some of the other people nominated on here, but that's not what I have. So I'm working with what I can right now, and the only thing I can say is work with what you have and be the best club and leader that you can be, not what others can be. So you can find me on Twitter at sjcrypticttv, I believe. If not, it'll be down in the description. But I'm not super active there. If you want to connect with me at sjcryptic on Discord, that's where I'm more active. And then follow at Coog Esports everywhere, because I run that all. So that's basically my my account at this point. I get to post some fun things on there, so that's pretty exciting.